Good evening and welcome to Inside Sports Talk. I am joined here today with my amazing co-host, Ed Cole. How are you tonight?
Joanna, good evening. This is a historic night for us as we are going live for the first time on Facebook and Twitter. How exciting is this?
It is our first live streaming show. It'll be 2 hours, so a lot bringing to you guys, talking sports, NBA, NFL, MLB, a little bit of that. So just a little bit of everything. So we're bringing you a lot of great stuff tonight.
Too much fun, too much information, too much overload on sports information, right, Joanna?
Oh, yeah, probably a little bit, but we have a little bit of everything for everyone, right, Ed? That's what it's all about.
Absolutely. That's right. Let's jump into it.
Yeah, ready to get in and talk some good sports talk?
Yes.
All right.
And I'm sure our viewers and listeners are ready for some good sports talk. Let's get it on.
We thank you for joining us and being in. So we're gonna go ahead and kick it off. There's just been some great news, and I'm elated to see this occurring and seeing so many women in sports and becoming owners, becoming co-owners, and being able to, not that they wouldn't before, but now it seems like it's more possible and you're seeing more of it. It's becoming more of it and across the different sports, Ed. So now we have, most recently is ESPN reporter. She's one of my favorites that I love listening to her. Sarah Spain, and Olympic gold medal winning hockey player, and Chicago Whitehawks coach Kendall Coyne Schofield, and being co-owners for the Chicago Red Stars for the National Women's Soccer League. So, and now, we've just seen how many women are becoming co-owners of different sports teams, being just owners of within the sports field, the sports industry, Ed. We saw, a few months ago, oh my gosh, her name escapes me, but with joining forces with The Rock and owning this and being a co-owner with this huge sports agency. So just so much occurring and making these major steps and these power force women making strides and making it possible for us.
I think it's great that Sarah Spain, she's a Chicago native herself, so she's a Chicagoan. So for the fact that she can now be a co-owner of a women's soccer team in her own home city is great. And you mentioned so many other powerful ladies that are owning sports franchise or co-owners. For Angel City FC, Natalie Portman's a co-owner. Serena Williams is a co-owner. Patrick Mahomes' fiance, Brittany, she's an owner of the new Kansas City team. There's powerful ladies that are co-owners of the Washington Spirit, Chelsea Clinton, Jenna Bush Hager, Dominique Dawes, Brianna Scurry. And we also talked about Renee Montgomery. She's a co-owner of the Atlanta Dream. She's the first player to ever be an owner and executive for a WNBA team. She used to play for the Atlanta Dream. So now with the help of LeBron James, she's a co-owner of the Atlanta Dream. So it is great to see so many ladies doing their thing, and they're in ownership positions. They're in power positions now, as they should be.
Yes, definitely. And it just excites me to see this and just women making history. Not only as owners, but we mentioned it a couple weeks ago, and we saw it in the Super Bowl, referee, women, we see now coaches as well. We saw it with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the type of the coaching staff that they have and how involved and, developed that has become too. So we're just seeing all of these major steps, transformation within sports and taking these type of roles that you wouldn't see in the past. And it's especially with such a male dominated industry that it is, Ed.
And it shouldn't have taken this long, Joanna, honestly, for ladies to have these kind of power positions, to be co-owners, to be referees in the Super Bowl, to have positions that they have in football teams. And we talked about Jennifer King, the first African-American female full-time head coach for the Washington football team. It shouldn't have taken until 2020, 2021 for these ladies to elevate themselves and come in these positions. But it is what it is. But still, it's a great thing to see. It's a great sign for sports in general that the ladies are stepping up and, again, doing their thing and making things happen from an elevated position, from a power position.
Yes, definitely. So I can just not wait to see how much further this can open even more doors for women, not only women, even minorities as well, because that's another group that you don't see very common being ownerships. We have actually Colorado Rockies co-owner. She's also a woman. I forgot her name right now. It's Linda. I forgot her last name. Forgive me, but she's a woman. She's also a minority. We have in baseball and football and all these different leagues as well. So,
and the Miami Marlins have a female general manager.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Just recently. Yes.
It's great. I love it.
We're making
strides, Joanna.
Many strides. I'm very, very excited to see this progress.
And Joanna, don't discount yourself. You are the CEO of your own company. This is your baby right here that we're doing right now, Inside Sports Talk. So you are a trailblazer. You are a pioneer of your own in creating this company and getting this thing off the ground. This is your love, your passion, and your vision, and you're making this happen as well. So I would put you right along with these other ladies, these other power ladies. You are in an elevated position yourself. You are a power player.
Well, thank you, Ed. You're not making me blush. I don't know what to say.
It's factual.
Thank you. Thanks. I don't think of it, but yes.
You are.
So speaking of soccer, we're going to go ahead and go into our next topic here with LeBron James and Zlatan Ibrahimovic. So there's been a little bit of back and forth, a little bit of dispute, butting heads. So Zlatan speaks out, and for those who may not know, Zlatan Ibrahimovic he is a soccer player or football player, however you want to call it. There can be some, however you refer to it. So he plays for AC Milan in Italy. He's a soccer player, real great soccer player. So if you're a soccer fan, looking to maybe get into a little bit more soccer action, go ahead and follow him. He's great. Back to this topic, Zlatan tells LeBron James, or he expresses for LeBron to go ahead and just stick to what he knows regarding comments being made by LeBron about politics, and we know LeBron isn't the only one, but there's also other players that will stand up and say or make comments or stand up to speaking and having a voice. So with Zlatan, he goes ahead and expresses how he feels regarding this, basically saying that it's a mistake and any other athletes for James and any other athletes to get involved with politics. So LeBron James goes back and does say that he is the wrong guy to go at, because he actually does his homework. You can take it back and forth. So many ways that you can take this. I have my own opinion of this, but before I share my opinion, Ed, I want to go ahead and ask you what your thoughts are on this, and where you stand. Should athletes go ahead and express and say, this is how I feel about this type of topic, or about a political standpoint, or just anything that can be maybe a controversy?
Joanna, this is not the first time that LeBron's been embroiled in this kind of controversy with his statements and his stands on racism and the civil rights movement and his love for his people. Of course, we remember when Laura Ingraham basically told him just to shut up and dribble and play basketball, and LeBron shot back at her over that when she said that to him. So for Zlatan to come out here and say that sounds kind of, it's not right, because a couple of years ago, he came out with an article. He was a part of an article by a French broadcaster, Canal, and he came out and said that he was a victim of undercover racism because of his last name, Ibrahimovic. And he said in that article, oh, my name is not Anderson or Svensson, because he's from Sweden, so he doesn't have a typical Swedish name. So if he can come out in an article and say that he was the victim of undercover racism, Isn't that kind of contrary to the fact of what LeBron is trying to do with the stand that he's taking and the platform that he has and all the great things that he's trying to do to uplift his people, not just black people, just everybody that loves LeBron James and that follows him and that has him as a hero and as somebody that they want to pattern themselves after, a role model of sorts. So why is LeBron not able to do that? But Zlatan can come out and say that he was a victim of racism. Isn't that a sort of a political stand of his own? He did that a couple years ago. So why can't LeBron do that? And I thought, I was just, as soon as I read the article, I was like, okay, really? And then I went back after I did the homework, just like LeBron did on this article. And I went back and read it. I'm just like, okay, so that is so hypocritical for you to say that. But then a couple of years ago, you have a stand that you have, but LeBron's not able to stand on his platform and express himself and how he feels.
Right. Yeah. And this is what I think. I have a little bit of two sides to this. I think that athletes do have, a major platform in which they can stand up and speak to, like we had last year, the social injustice and everything going on there, Black Lives Matter. And there's the one thing that Zlatan did say: athletes unite the world, politics divide it. To there, he does have a point. But if it's something that athletes can come together, such as, 9/11 per se, or the example that I gave of last year, coming together and uniting and being a force to overcome something as such, then, I think great, let's go ahead and come together and get past it, or, speak your voice and to help others stand up for themselves as well and stand up on the subject, stand up on the matter. I think that if you are, if you have something that you stand up for, a cause, or that you endorse, that you are, a voice for, and that you're just not only speaking just to speak, then yes, I'm all for it. Go ahead. Let's say if it is for cancer, you have a personal tie to it, and you do volunteer work, or you are heavily involved in that matter and that subject and in what you're doing, then yes, go ahead, stand up to it, speak your voice, use your platform for that. If you're going to speak and be that involved. If it's something that you're just going to say something and you're just, talking just to talk, then in that instance, then I'll say, don't do that. Do your homework. If you're going to stand up for a cause, go ahead and do so and do what you have to do. That's my opinion. That's my stand on it as far as, as far as this goes.
I agree with you. And LeBron is not that guy that's going to stand on his soapbox and just spew words, because he knows he's got followers. He's got millions and millions of people, both young and old, that follow him, follow every word he says. Outside of what he does on the basketball court, he's phenomenal. He's one of the greatest to ever play the game of basketball. But still, yes, he is a very powerful man, and he speaks very powerful words. So I applaud LeBron James for standing up for everything that he does to try to elevate the entire world and make the world a better place to live in. And to an extent, I do agree with what Zlatan said about politics do divide people. But LeBron's not in the business to divide people. He's trying to bring us together. He's trying to heal this world that is in such complete chaos. And LeBron is trying to make things better. He's trying to eliminate this chaotic situation as much as he can. I mean, he's a human being. He can only do so much, Joanna, but he's trying his best. And I applaud him for that. I love the fact that LeBron is standing up as a man and expressing himself, and he's willing to help others along the way.
Yeah. So it's a double-edged sword, like you call it, isn't it?
It is. Yes.
So unfortunately, because I know there's causes that I stand for, and if you follow me on social media or mostly Instagram, and see my stories, then you would know a little bit about that. But there's some, and that's